Welcome to my north-facing garden. A few years ago, in the beginning, there was only grass. I made a flower bed mostly filled with annuals and sowed a new lawn. It looked amazing in the summer for a couple of years. I even grew some sweet corn, and hyacinth flowers returned in the spring. But in the winter, the bed was void of life. A new fence meant the flower bed was cleared and the lawn was trampled on. I made a new plan for the flower bed to include more permanent plants and also some foliage in the winter. Rather than sticking to shade-loving plants like ferns and hostas, I'm testing the limits of what can grow here. Over time, we will see which plants can adapt to this environment. The sun is now coming into the top end of the garden from about 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. The 5th of March, the ground was frozen, but there was no wind, so it was a good day to clear up the grass area without getting muddy. I cleared up the piles of sticks and cuttings from the Virginia creeper. I sat on one of the chairs for a break. Looking through the mess, I could see the hellebores and the bright white crocuses. It motivated me to carry on clearing the cut-up pallet and to move the pots to other places. Really hoping that everything grows well this year. In the bulb trough, the crocuses flowered for a couple of weeks. Purple, yellow and white, all looking lovely, even though they don't see any direct sun. This small grub doesn't appear to do any harm. I put the chewed off crocus bud in some water and I was happy to see that it opened. A couple of weeks later, the crocuses are mostly over, but there are hyacinths coming and daffodil buds too. I spotted a couple of insects or grubs. They don't seem to be doing any harm, so I let them be. Next to the primroses, some shoots are appearing. In October, I relocated these bulbs here. The shoots are small but growing strong. It won't be long to find out what they are. The primroses love it under the mahonia, even in the heavy clay soil. I have some foxgloves in pots from last year. I'm thinking of putting them in the bed if I can find space for them, and if they turn out to be the wrong colour, I can move them after they've flowered. The hellebore is coping well with the frost. In the icy mornings, it's slumped over, but fully recovers once it's warmed up. More crocus and hyacinths are coming up here. These were planted in November. The crocus is on top, and the hyacinths and some narcissus underneath. Looking along the bed, past the corners, I think that's some alliums growing there, and another hyacinth coming up. Next to the fern, the witch hazel flower has now gone. I'm looking forward to seeing some fresh new leaves coming from these buds soon. This fern has blackened from the frost, but it's holding up against the slugs and snails. These crocus were planted in October. They opened and looked amazing, but some animal must have come in the garden one night and they were trampled on. Also, one hyacinth flower was broken off and the hydrangea was damaged too. These bulbs were planted in October. The 3 hyacinths were planted close together, but now one has come up a bit further away. A row of grape hyacinths the next layer up and the crocuses at this end. The same is happening in the silver box. A couple of tulips there and the alliums, and along the front the grape hyacinths. The last chance old bulb trough is looking lush. In November, I crammed in all of my old bulbs. It took 2 layers to fit them all in. That's the bottom layer, you can see some hyacinths there, and this is the top layer, smaller tulips. At the beginning of March, I sowed some seeds. I realised that with the plants in the new bed, I won't have much space left, so I'm just going to be sowing 1 row of each type of seed. I fill the tray with topsoil and press it down with an old lid. It just fits the size of the squares. I haven't made all the labels out, so I'm just putting 1 marker in this end so that I know where I began. First of all, I'm going to grow lime green tobacco plant. I've successfully grown these before, so there shouldn't be any issues with it. Next is Salvia harmonium, white sage, or clary sage. This is an annual and it grows up to 70 centimetres tall and it has large white plumes. It prefers partial shade, so I'm hoping it will do okay towards the house end of the bed. Row 3 is mealy cup sage, Salvia farnacea, white fig tree. This grows up to 50 centimetres tall with spikes of white flowers that are attractive to insects. The last row is yarrow, Achillea millefolium, summer white. In case you don't know, my plan for the Corten steel fence bed is to grow only green or white plants and flowers. This one grows up to 45 centimetres tall and has a flat flower head that is attractive to hoverflies. The soil should be chalk, sand or loam, so it would be best to plant this by the hydrangea because that's where I've added a lot of grit. But I already have other plants planned for that location, so I will see what happens as the season continues. All of these seeds need light to germinate, so they will not be covered with soil. I press the seeds down with the lid, checking that the seeds did not get stuck to the lid and move to other cells. I covered it with a sheet that I cut from a plastic bag and I put them in the sunny front window. The seeds germinated at different times, so I cut the plastic into strips to cover the slower growing seeds. Now I am seeing some growth in every cell. I also have taken delivery of some bare root plants. I have already potted them up, but I will show you that in the next video.